public service announcement. If you go to a concert and then you get your friends to sub for you, you need to not tell your roommate because they really can't keep a secret.
He folded under zero pressure.
We've narrowed it down to half the population.
This certain individual folded under zero pressure.
Today we have a very special guest, and I'm going to do every guest's favorite thing, which is reading their bio directly to them while they sit and listen. So she got her Bachelor of Music in Flute Performance from Indiana University Jacobs School of Music, where she studied with Catherine Lucas and Carmen Murray. She played in many groups at IU, including the Philharmonic Orchestra, in which she premiered The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, a 2-act opera in co-production with the Metropolitan Opera. She's gone to ARIA International Summer Academy, Eastern Festival of Music, Orford Music Academy, Miami Music Festival, and Prisma, and also is an associate member of the Civic Orchestra of Chicago. Olivia Dorer, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
And part of why I thought this would be a fun conversation is we're actually really similar in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Curious if you can tell me if my analysis is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
We're both first-year master's students here at Benin. But also, I would say we lean in the people-pleaser, worrying kind of direction. But we're also very organized. We have a little bit of a piccolo focus. And we were in a flute duo for chamber this quarter.
True. Mm-hmm.
One teacher said we sounded really similar, and then immediately the next teacher said we don't sound similar at all.
Right.
So that's awesome.
That was so fun.
Do I have that analysis correct?
I think you've got a pretty accurate read on me.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Pretty accurate.
One thing that we're different about is you have something I like to call Olivia-isms.
Oh boy.
Is it okay if I share some?
Yes, you may.
Okay. The recent ones, I feel like you've been saying chud life a lot.
Yeah.
Like every lesson is chud life. Chud of the week.
Chud of the week, yeah.
We've got diva. We've got wife.
Yep.
And I feel like they're kind of infecting the flute studio. Like I've started to say them.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
Same with the stickers I send in the group chat too.
Exactly. We love the stickers. So you invented these, or your parents say things like this, or?
I just be saying stuff sometimes.
You be saying stuff?
I just be saying stuff, or I like hear other people say stuff, and then it infects me, and then I infect others, and it's just like one big old like just outbreak.
Infection sounds so negative, though. I feel like,
but it's like a positive infection because it's fun and whimsical.
You're adding a bit of levity and whimsy.
Exactly, brings joy to our lives that are a little bit tedious at times.
Our lives are tedious at times. Speaking of our lives being tedious. So we're on summer break now.
Yep.
How did you find your first year here? Big transition, master's degree.
Wow. Yeah. It is crazy that this first year is done. It is wild. I mean, especially this quarter, I feel like it really flew by. It was definitely it was a very good life-changing year in like a whole number of ways, which is fantastic. And so much so different from the bachelor's degree where you like had more of that classes balance in addition to practicing, whereas this was like essentially a practicing degree with the occasional class in there. So it was really good, I think, to be able to really properly focus on my playing and what to improve upon it. And of course, taking as many auditions as I did was really quite challenging, but it improved my playing so much. So it was very much beneficial, as stressful as it was this time. So overall, I'd find the first year of the Masters was really good and rewarding, as tough as it was and as exhausting as it was. It was definitely worth all the hours put in.
Yeah. I mean, I found the similar thing, and we had a similarly structured year as well.
Yeah.
Northwestern, there's basically 3 quarters, quote unquote,
right?
Like trimesters, really. The first one was, for me at least, was adjusting to moving here and seeing what it's like to go to campus and where everything is. Then the second quarter, we had recitals. So we didn't have to play etudes in our lesson.
Which was very nice.
It was very nice.
Very nice.
And then you kind of did the pro gamer move of third quarter taking auditions, so you didn't have to do etudes kind of again.
Yep.
But yeah, you was this the first time taking professional auditions this year for you?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I was going to in undergrad, or like there were times where I saw an audition pop up and I was like, oh, I'm going to take it. But then I would get into I would get into the preparation a little bit and I'd be like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm like good enough, or I don't know if this is what I should be doing right now, so I chickened out multiple times. But this year, I really set my foot down as like, I need to start taking auditions now. So I really made it a point to do as many as I could this year.
And that's not a small thing, putting your foot down.
Mm-hmm.
I know tons of people who are amazing and they'll say that they're not ready yet.
Right.
Do you think you were right that you weren't ready yet, or are we ever ready?
I don't know if anybody ever really is truly ready, and I think it's very good to get an early start on them so that you're slowly figuring out what works best for you in the process over time. So, like, when I see undergrads take auditions, I'm like, that's fantastic. I'm so glad you're doing that. I wish I had the guts to do that back then, but I was just too scared.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you go into an audition thinking that you have to win, then it's a waste of time if you don't win, but you should never go into an audition like that.
Exactly, yeah.
And you took an audition in a bar.
Oh, yes, I did.
Would you like to
Yep.
explain?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was like, yeah, when you go on the podcast, it should go on record that you did audition in a bar.
Yeah,
And
I think
I
that's
did.
impressive.
It was so weird. I'll leave the name of the orchestra out just for anonymity's sake. But so this audition, the most recent one I took, which was like a good few weeks ago now. So I think what the issue was is they were having multiple section auditions on the same day. I think 3.
There's no excuse.
But you'd think in an ideal world, there would be a rehearsal space or a hall available.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, the audition I took was in a banquet hall with a bar several feet to my right.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, those acoustics were indescribable. It was...
You play a note and it just dies.
It was terrible. It was both dry and wet at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I, like, truly... I can't describe it. It's popped up in my dreams because I'm so traumatized by it.
Yeah.
Like, with my wrist issues on the deafness aside, it's gonna take a lot to top that in terms of such a strange audition experience, but I guess that, in a way, I'm glad I did take it because it's gonna take a lot to rattle me now.
Yeah, you're gonna be so impressed by just having a rehearsal room.
No, right, or like a nice
church
hall.
yeah.
Because for the first audition I took, which we all took, that one was like, it was in like a church and it had like blue lighting, but like, it was, the acoustics were good.
I think luckily when the acoustics are just awful, you have to remember that everybody else is in the same acoustics.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So you're graded on a curve.
Yep.
But you're gonna feel bad, and if you get in your head when you start playing about how it sounds bad, it can be kind of a downhill thing.
And I definitely got into my head a little bit in that one too, because as much as I tried to not pressure myself and being like, you should keep trying to advance because I have advanced before, a little bit of that snuck back in, and my wrist issues were causing me stress because I really felt it be tense on that day, and the Daphnis Flute 2 excerpt in the opening, of course, requires all that pinky work. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I don't know if that's going to happen. And in addition to that, the audition started really late in the day. Also because their scheduling with multiple section auditions on the same day was...
And by late in the day, you mean like...
6:30 is when I went on for prelims.
Yeah, and that's prelims.
That's
not even...
prelims.
Yeah.
And that was... So essentially I was sitting in my hotel room for like most of the day just like pacing.
Yeah.
And that didn't help me either. I thought I had a better handle on that, but, circumstances rattled me a little.
Yeah, we were saying whoever keeps the judges awake the longest wins the job.
And I wouldn't be shocked. Finals ended at about 10.
Which is crazy.
Which is insane.
Yeah, but first of all, is your wrist better now?
Oh yeah, it's plenty better now. I took, the Shostakovich finished up, of course, so that and that list where I probably also wasn't doing the best for myself practice-wise, too, because I was really kind of beating myself up in the practice room.
Yeah, you guys just played Shostakovich 11 with Northwestern Orchestra. Yeah.
Very technically demanding piece, but
that's pretty
so good.
Scary, not just about wrist issues, but in general.
Mm-hmm.
If you're chopping vegetables and you cut a finger off, your career is just done.
Yeah, you're just done.
And Olivia is a chopper of vegetables.
This is true. I do chop many vegetables pretty regularly.
I want to talk about tangent into vegetables.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are a very good cook
Thank
and
you.
baker.
Thank you very much.
And I think it's really cool when people have more to their
Mhm.
life than
Yeah,
just music.
100%.
And more than just really cool, but probably actually, I don't know. Do you think the best musicians of all time are partly the best because they have other things that balance
Mhm.
their lives and their mental health? Or is that a lie I'm telling myself and really it's just the people who have one thing and it's music?
I think it's, like, it really speaks to a person when they allow themselves to have a life outside of it, because when you just focus on one thing forever, it just gets unhealthy
Mhm,
at some point, or, like, you can really just fixate it on it to the point that it becomes toxic, and I think I've found that I've become a better musician and just a happier person when I've allowed it myself to have more of these interests outside of music, and cooking and baking are really, like, two of the things I especially gravitate towards. I mean, of course, I have other hobbies and such as well, but that's, like, one of the more common ones I gravitate towards because it's a nice creative outlet, but I don't put that pressure on myself to perform something perfectly that I do, like, when I'm playing my
mhm,
flute, for instance.
mhm. Did you have this thing when you started playing the flute where it became your whole identity? Um, I definitely had this
Mhm.
because I started in 5th grade and kids are kind of simple. So it's
Yep.
like the sports guy, the person who's a nerd. And then
Mhm.
for me, it was like the flute girl. But I
Yeah.
was kind of okay with that. And
Mhm.
it was motivating in a way like, oh, I have a thing and people think I'm good at this thing.
Right.
Like, did you have that? And do you have that now? Like, how do you see your identity as a flute player versus other
Mhm.
things?
Yeah, definitely as a child, I feel like I was, like, really, like, oh, like, the music kid, because I feel like, especially when we're children, we kinda really gravitate into, like, sort of those, like, cliques. You have, like, the video game kids, you have the popular kids, you got the art nerds, you've got the band geeks. I was
Love a
definitely
band geek.
love a good band geek, and I definitely that was a huge part of my identity, especially throughout high school too, because I did marching band,
Mhm.
and that was essentially my whole life, and after marching band season was over was concert band season, and that took up a bunch of my time. So, especially in high school, really I felt like I was mostly defined by being a musician, and, like, a little bit into undergrad as well, but of course, when you get to music school, well, everybody's a good musician.
Yeah.
So, you're not special anymore, and you gotta find, like, what who you really are outside of it, because, yes, you are a musician, but also you're, like, a wonderful person with, like, great traits, and, like, you've got your hobbies and your interests and your passions outside of it, so it's important to really foster that for sure, and it took me, I think, some time to really find exactly what that was for me.
Mhm.
Like, freshman and sophomore year was a little bit of an adjustment because, well, freshman year especially because you're in the dorms and you don't for me, I didn't have access to a kitchen or anything, so I didn't really cook much. All I did freshman year was go to the practice room, go back to my dorm, hang out with friends occasionally, do my homework, etcetera, and that was it. But sophomore year, when I moved into a place and I had a kitchen and stuff, that's where I really, like, was like, "Oh, I really like cooking."
Mhm.
And, like, I
Did you not
found
cook much before that?
nah, not really. Not too much in high school. I mean, I, like, would help occasionally, like, with dinners my parents would make, but nothing really that substantial, and then, like, sophomore year, when I was living in a place is where it really kicked off, and I started reading again, and I started, like, doing all sorts of these things and, like, really finding myself again, which is nice, but, of course, it takes time to get there, but I think having this life outside of being a flutist has really not only helped me become a better flutist, but also just staying grounded because it's so easy to get, like, just invested in your work in this field.
Yeah. Was it was it pretty hard freshman year? Was it shocking to
It was a little bit of an adjustment, I think, because, I mean, obviously, like, well, like, I wasn't the strongest player back then. A lot of my musical career, especially early on, I credit to people taking a chance on me. Because back when I started in 6th grade, uh, they almost had me switch instruments because I couldn't make a sound for 2 weeks. They were just about to give up on me, and, like, I talked to my band director, like, a couple years ago when I was helping out with the instrument fair. He was like, "Yeah, we almost quit on you, but we're so glad we didn't." And then I didn't get in a lot of places for undergrad because my playing was pretty rough around the edges back then. I mean, obviously, it was a high school, we're all rough around the edges, but I had, like, a lot of fundamental issues that I needed to work on, and I got very lucky that my late professor took a chance on me, and she was like, "We saw a lot of potential in you, and we're glad we made that chance."
I guess you can't really tell the trajectory of a person
Right.
when they're that young.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the thing about prodigies and how they're really scary.
Right.
But if you actually look at the graph of their life, it probably tapers off, especially if
Right,
they were
yeah.
being sort of forced by their
Yeah, and
parents,
it's so
which
easy to burn
happens
out.
when kids are good so fast because
Mhm.
it's not usual for a kid to have that kind of motivation when
Right.
they start. Um, but you say people took a chance on you. That probably
Mhm.
motivates you as a teacher someday. Do you
Mhm.
think you're gonna be more likely to root for the underdog
Yeah.
almost?
I think so because that's essentially how my story went, and, like, I really had to fight tooth and nail to get where I am now and to, like, improve to get to the point where I'm at, and I wanna be able to show, like, my future students, "Hey, it's possible. It's okay if you don't get into All-State. It's okay if you don't make honor band every single year. It's okay if you're not perfect right now. But it's possible. It can be done. You just gotta put the work in and believe in yourself, and you got it."
Yeah, it's an optimistic take.
Yeah.
I think it helps to be well, let's talk about talent. You think talent is
Mhm.
real?
I think so. I think there's an element of, like, raw talent, but with that comes the need for discipline as well, because you can, like, be a complete prodigy on your instrument, but you don't have, like, a rigorous practice schedule or something, so it's like things can get sloppy and out of shape. Like, you could be a good flute player, but there needs to be that discipline as well.
But what if that's talent as well? Like our teacher
Mhm.
talks about the talent for the work ethic.
Uh-huh. I guess in a way, yeah, talent for the work ethic is important too. I feel like that one I see less in, like, or people with just, like, sheer raw talent.
hmm Or maybe it's not, oh, I wish I had the talent for the work ethic. It's,
Mhm.
oh, I'm trying at the wrong thing. Because if you tried at the right thing, you would be naturally motivated,
Right.
or at least more so.
Mhm. Yeah, and I feel like there's such, like, a problem in our society where if you're, like, not good at something right away, people tend to quit pretty quick.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's easy to, but not everything in life is supposed to be easy. And I think, like, struggling in a way or, like, continually, like, not being good, like, it makes me feel human when I'm not good at something, and what a privilege it is to be able to, like, wake up and, like, try again every single day and, like, keep on working at something, you know?
Yeah, I fully agree. And also, the nature of a performance degree is
Mhm.
kind of terrible if you don't have the right personality for it, because we
Right.
are trying to prove something sort of every time we play,
Yeah.
even in a lesson,
Mhm.
in a class. You can try to not think about what other people think, but
Mhm.
everyone's making judgments all the time.
Right.
You're judging yourself, and
Yep.
you have to be good enough if you want to be paid for it someday. Um, oh, wait, how long have you been playing? Like 13 years?
Let's see here. I started in fall of 2014, so I think that 12, yeah, 12.
Yeah, I think that's part of why I love musicians is
Mhm.
we're sort of the best at rejection and
Yeah.
also quiet effort
Mhm.
with where you don't cut corners.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot of time by ourselves. You cannot cut a corner. You
Yep.
cannot just show
Mm-mm.
up. Um, and then also the progress isn't linear.
Yep.
Like this whole year, probably you felt that your progress was kind of like forward and back and logistics and
Mhm.
all of that.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like you said you had to kind of fight tooth and nail for your
Mhm.
improvement on the flute.
Yeah.
How do you feel similarly now? How do you
Mm.
feel?
I feel a little bit less of that, like, not necessarily in the sense that I, like, feel like I've proven myself, but I feel like I really overcame a lot of the big issues that got me turned away from things. I mean, obviously, I still have issues, granted, and then we all do, and we all have our things that we need to keep working on. Like, but I feel like part of that mindset too is like I was just always thinking I was never gonna be good enough for this, and now I'm like, that mindset's ridiculous. Like, anybody can win a job. It could be anybody that's in, like, the prelim round. It could be anybody could win a competition. It and I was like, "You know what? If why not me?" So I don't necessarily feel that, like, really fighting to improve, but I do, like, I still have that discipline, but without the, like, mindset of,
Toxic mindset.
like, I have something to prove.
Yeah, and that's crazy to hear you say when I talk to great musicians and they don't believe in themselves or they have this like negative
Mhm.
internal And you, like you said, you finaled in an audition
Mhm.
recently. What was that feeling like when you found out?
Wow. Oh my gosh. That felt pretty incredible, honestly. I mean, I wasn't 100% certain how, of course, in any audition, I don't expect to advance. My goal is to just every mind every audition I go in, I want to go in with the mindset I'm just going to put my best foot forward and everything else is out of my control after that. And I feel like the way I executed in that audition, I mean, I listened back to that recording fairly recently and it turned out very, very well. I'm very proud of how that preliminary round went. And I was like, I did my best, so whatever happens, happens. And then the personnel manager came in and was reading off the candidates to advance, and he read my name, and I was very, very thrilled. It felt good for sure. It didn't necessarily feel like oh, I've proved myself. I'm good enough of this sort of, but I was like, wow, how lucky I am to advance and have a shot at this job. And it was really cool to play in a final round.
Yeah, I think that's so validating. You go to 10 auditions and then maybe one of them you get some positive
Hmm.
feedback.
Yeah.
The ratio can be really skewed like that.
Hmm.
We know a professor who took 30 auditions or something like that,
Yeah.
which is insane. Hearing her play now, she just sounds like an angel.
Hmm.
But yeah, how validating. Did it the next day? It probably you wanted to double down on your motivation of let's freaking sign up for the next one, right?
Yeah. It was in a way, it was a little jarring because I hadn't advanced yet at that point. So this was my first time being in a final round. I was like, whoa, because I hadn't thought of the possibility I could leave this place with a job,
Yeah.
possibly. I could win a job at the end of the day. And I didn't necessarily let that rattle me, but the thought of winning the job possibly was in the back of my mind. I still played well, but I think my prelim audition was a little more solid because I let myself just be like, okay, I'm just going to put my best foot forward, whatever's out of my control, instead of I want to win the job. But overall, it was still very much so a rewarding experience. And it was great to see how my brain reacts to advancing. Now that I know what that looks like if I advance in the future, then I know how to handle myself a little better. But yeah, what a great experience that was for sure.
Mhm. And I feel like a lot of auditions, hearing you talk, is just seeing what my body does in weird
Yeah.
circumstances.
Hmm.
Sometimes weirder than others when you play in a bar.
This is true. That it's gonna take a lot to be weirder than that. And if there's anything weirder than that, I might be throwing in the towel and just calling it a day.
Just take a picture, make an Instagram post. Don't take an audition. You like to say the phrase frolic. You like to frolic in
I
places.
do like to frolic in places. I wish I got to frolic in the location of the place I made finals in.
Yeah.
Because, man, it would have been nice. But
Well, who knows where the next one will be?
this is true. You never know.
Is your mindset I'll just get on a plane and go to wherever the next one is, and I'll kind of live wherever I can get a job?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's unfortunately, that is how it is.
Yep.
We don't get to choose unless we are Jasmine Choi.
This is true. This is true.
One thing I find really maybe frustrating, maybe I shouldn't
Mhm.
be frustrated about auditions is a lot of times they send out a long list of excerpts
Mhm.
and then you show up there and for the prelims they only want to hear the basic ones.
Yeah.
Like they want to hear Mendelssohn Scherzo.
Mhm.
Hopefully your double tonguing is good.
Yeah.
They want to hear Brahms 4 and then they don't want to hear Firebird or maybe
Right.
something that you put a lot more time into because you're more freaked out about it.
Yeah.
For the final round, did you feel like your hard excerpts were as strong as some of those basic ones?
Mhm. I think they were. I think well, for the prelim round to the final round they essentially asked the whole list, which the whole list was pretty short. I think it was no more than 12 excerpts,
Mhm.
which wasn't too bad at all. The final round was a little jarring because one of the excerpts they had us start in the middle of it, and I hadn't practiced starting in the middle of it before because I didn't realize that was an option that
Hmm.
they could ask. But I think maybe my harder excerpts were just a tiny bit more solid on the prelim day just because I was a little bit more solid in my mindset. But they weren't bad on the finals day. I think maybe just because I was not expecting the advancing, I was just a little bit rattled on it was Firebird Piccolo and yeah, Firebird Piccolo was really the only one I felt like a little bit unsteady on.
If you had won the job, would you have been able to take it?
I think I would have
So we
probably
have one more year.
taken it.
Yeah.
For what they did for us is they gave a 1-year trial. So I think if I were to have been awarded that trial, I would have stayed in school and then just flown back and forth,
That would have been crazy.
which would have been crazy. Would have tried to make it work. Say if I won what is it? The second audition I took, that job I would have taken and dropped out of school.
Wow.
But I obviously didn't make it past prelims, so
Well, I'm glad for that. You have to be here next year.
exactly. I really love you guys. So it's been nice to spend time with y'all.
We
for sure.
should talk about what the flute studio is like.
Oh yeah.
We won't name names or anything.
Mhm.
We had Maggie on the podcast.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And she's lovely.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, she's graduating.
Yeah, Angel.
But I felt like from my undergrad to grad, the flute studio has been much more like a community.
Mhm.
It's a bigger flute studio, with
Yeah.
21 students,
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
But I found it to be much more. We just see each other more often.
Right.
Maybe
yeah.
it's a logistical thing.
Possibly.
Have you found? Was your undergrad like that?
Not really. I mean, for my undergrad, my late professor was older, and then the other professor had a son that he had to take care of. So we didn't have studio class regularly. And we just really didn't see each other aside from ensembles and such. So our flute studio, which was also bigger than Northwestern's, we had about 30 people, or I think at our peak about 32. And we just didn't really feel close with each other at all. The one studio and the other studio kind of felt like separate instead of one big old studio. We would have guest artist master classes, and that would really be the only other time we'd see each other from ensembles. People in our year would be closer, but aside from that, or if you're performing in ensembles with somebody and you get really buddy with them, aside from that, there wasn't really that sense of community that we have here. And I think that's something I've really loved about here, is how close we are. And that's something I definitely wanted to when I got here, is I really want to be close, especially with my cohort in the year and the grad students, because it's important, I think, to have people you're close to in your same program, because it just makes a much more positive environment, I think.
Especially because we're kind of going through it all the time.
Yeah. 100%.
Even when things are good, quote unquote, studio class and excerpt class, it's just a part of performing that you wait around, you watch other people, you get in your head, you get nervous, you do it, and there's a lot of just adrenaline and chemicals.
So much.
For most people. And then getting that feedback from people, getting help from people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a really warped perception of how your performance was. I would say probably 80% of people after studio come back from the stage and they're like, oh my God, it was so bad. Which is crazy. Some of the people who say that.
Yeah.
But you've done a really good job this year, as I've known you, creating that community, especially.
Yeah.
There's less grad students. There's 7?
There's 7 of us.
There's
Yeah.
7 of us. Olivia has hosted several grad nights, and I think it's really important in this age of social media.
Yeah.
The darn kids.
The darn kids.
That people don't really proactively plan things.
Right.
And there's not so much time besides our studio class to just hang out with people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you've just done a great job with that.
Well, I certainly try my best. I really do enjoy hosting things. And now that, I couldn't do that in undergrad because I lived with 3 other people and it was a pretty small space. Now that I have a 1-bedroom apartment to myself, I can host things whenever I want. And I don't have to deal with logistics of roommates or stuff. And yeah, I really do enjoy spending time with. We all know what each other is going through. And I think we've got a really nice group of friends.
Yeah,
for sure.
Sort of like being in the military.
Honestly, kind of, yeah.
Not really.
Not exactly, but,
much less exercise.
This is true, and that
life or death
is much appreciated.
Except for our lessons.
Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah, do you get that from your parents? The sort of, I just feel like you value people a lot. And
yeah, I think so. Yeah, both my parents also similar in a lot of ways. I got a lot of the cooking stuff from my dad and a lot of the very sweet hostess stuff from my mom. So definitely that was encouraged in me for sure. They always encourage me to host stuff, and they're take your friends to dinner and pay for them. We're happy to. And I'm so nice. Always happy to do stuff like that. Because I really do enjoy all y'all. It's really been very nice.
Yeah, we're gonna look back on this and probably think it's the golden era of our lives, maybe.
Honestly,
I didn't feel that way
possibly.
about undergrad.
I didn't feel that way about undergrad either. I'm with you.
I feel much better about it here, and just to be surrounded by smart people who
Mhm.
are very specifically going through what you're going
Yeah,
through. I think we should try to soak it up as much as we can.
100%.
But also, you're an introvert, right?
Oh,
Ish.
yeah, I'd say I'm tend to be a little more introverted. I feel like I especially start introverted when I don't know people, and then I open up more as time goes on. I'm like, kinda, I guess, leaning more into ambivert now. I feel like I used to be really introverted. Now I'm like, kinda, yeah, but a bit more of the combo now.
Yeah, as I said introvert, I was like, "But I'm not sure." She's like,
A little.
she likes that
I
socializing.
do,
She
yeah.
likes to. Do you have a word for this? To
Hmm.
hang out?
Um,
You have an
hmm,
Oliviaism right now.
I don't off the top of my head, huh?
Is Kiki a verb?
That
To
it
Kiki?
I think so, yeah, that was a bit more of a fall quarter one. It's like Flute Studio Kiki before class.
Yeah, I'm late. I'm booming out. I'm late on this trend.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm kind of jumping around, but I feel like
Yeah,
you
no
didn't finish
worries.
your life story. We have when you started,
Mhm.
but how did you decide you want to do this your whole life?
Hmm. That one is that's a tricky one. I think I don't know, as I worked more towards things in high school and I think really where I was like, "Hey, I could see myself doing this," is when I did youth orchestra.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think that's really when I was like, "Ooh, I really like this thing. I wanna pursue it more." 'Cause we never got to actually perform it because of COVID, but we started rehearsals for a side-by-side concert with the Cincinnati Symphony, and we were gonna do Daphnis at Chloe,
Wow.
and
You guys must have been good.
we tried our best. That's pretty solid for a high school ensemble, but also that's quite the thing to take
It's
on.
hard even for professionals.
Exactly. I mean, I struggle with it now. I was just lucky to be on the piccolo part, to not have to deal with,
Well,
like, the noodles.
yeah, the noodles, the infamous noodles. I also did youth orchestra,
Mhm.
and I think looking back, I sort of like the social aspect of it more than the playing
That's
aspect.
entirely fair.
Because when it got more, I went to a different youth orchestra after that was more serious.
Mhm.
It felt more competitive and
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Mhm.
But I I also did honor bands and got addicted to doing pretty well in them and
Mhm.
sort of winning at things,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of a toxic fuel. Did you have that sort of,
Hmm.
man, I like to win stuff, competitive
Not
thing?
too much because I really didn't win anything very much. The only like things I've really won per se is I won the concerto competition at my high school my senior year, which
That counts.
that was very nice. And that's one of the things that I did. And youth orchestra, of course, and I did some honor band as well, but I never like made it into all state or anything. Or when I did uh honor bands, I would usually be a pretty low chair. Like freshman year honor band, I think I was 13th chair flute.
That's so funny because you're such an amazing musician
Thank you.
now. Well,
Mhm.
and your fuel was more pure because it wasn't like ego and
Mhm.
winning things.
Yeah,
Now you're winning things big time,
winning things.
winning things.
Winning things possibly.
Did you have a good teacher in high school who
Mhm.
who sort of pushed you on the path?
Yeah, definitely. I'm endlessly grateful to her also for taking me in. I mean, cuz she was kind of overseeing us like when we were starting in 6th grade and I was barely making a sound and like she offered like, I don't have too much space in my studio, but I'd love to take you in as my student. And I was very glad to. She pushed me a lot in ways I definitely needed to be pushed, which I'm endlessly grateful for. Something I also appreciate that she did was instead of etudes, she had me do excerpts. So I kind of started getting an early foundation on those, which is nice. And she was very diligent in teaching me those so I didn't create bad habits. Obviously, there's always old ghosts because, you improve on things as you go throughout the years. And there are obviously things I do better now than I did back then that I'm like, I'm doing an old habit. I guess I should stop that. But
Yeah.
it was really valuable to get a foundation on those early on.
I haven't heard of someone starting excerpts so young. I
Hmm.
don't know if I like that or not.
Yeah, we did a lot of excerpts in high school for sure. Thankfully, none of the like classical symphony ones or
Could you
anything, but
imagine? Play high D as a
oh man, if
high schooler.
I don't think I would have been able to do it.
Yeah. But Maggie and I were talking about Mozart
Mhm.
concerto. We were kind of
Oh
hating on
yeah,
it. It's one of those things where you learn it young and then those bad habits stay
right.
forever.
Yep.
and it's really hard to relearn something
It's
versus just
so tricky.
starting again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the conversation? Did you tell your teacher you were gonna go professional?
Yeah, I think I like briefly mentioned that to her my freshman year, and she was like, "Okay, you should start learning this now." And like my sophomore year, so the Mozart concerto was a years long project for us where we like touch up on it every now and then. Like she would give me other rep like stuff from the French book and like the Poulenc sonata and stuff like that. But we would also like start polishing up the Mozart so that we could do it later on. So it was like a slow long-term project because obviously that piece is very it looks not that bad,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
doesn't look
very
that bad.
deceptively complicated and there's so many layers to it. So for her, I really appreciate her approach to that and treating that like very delicately and as a long-term project. Obviously, still have things I need to improve upon in my Mozart, but I think that helped get a solid foundation for me.
Yeah, I remember I told
Mhm.
I also had a really great teacher in high school and I guess middle school before that.
Mhm.
When I told her I wanted to go pro, she tried to talk me out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it's because she thought I wasn't good, but
Mhm.
she was a bassoon player primarily and
Mhm.
then started doing other
Yeah.
instruments and sort of local community stuff.
Mhm.
And also she was from Vienna and she was saying that when she took orchestral auditions, it was basically a boys club and they said it was blind, but they only really let in white men for the most part. And so she got scorned on that competitive,
Yeah.
toxic nature.
I get that.
And I think she really knows what the audition circuit is like and
Mhm.
how oversaturated it is with
Right.
flute players.
Uh-huh.
And she just didn't want me to go through that.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty stubborn, so I didn't listen to
That is entirely fair.
and then she flipped and was on my side, and it was
Mhm.
100%, and she
Yeah.
was really honest with me, like, "Well, you can do it, but you need to try harder. You need to practice more."
Mhm.
And it's so nice. This I think it's because she is European. She had
Mhm.
sort of attitude where
Oh, yeah.
I would bring something in from the week before,
Mhm.
and I would play it, and she was like, "It's supposed to be pretty." I was like, "Is it pretty?" And she's like, "No."
Oh.
But it was good for me, like, I couldn't get away with things, and she
Mhm.
really told me the truth about the way the world
Yeah.
is, and then even now, when I send her clips of my playing and she's positive, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I believe her because
Right, because she was really tough on
she
you
was really
before.
tough on me.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about teaching styles that you've seen throughout your life? Like,
Mhm.
that sort of tough love approach? You have a bit of that?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Across all the teachers I've studied with thus far, it's, like, definitely that, like, tough love where it's like, I will recognize when you're doing something well, but if you're not doing something well, I will tell you, and I definitely need that for sure. Because, like, if I'm not doing something well, I wanna know. That's something I appreciate about our professor here is that he doesn't sugarcoat anything.
Mhm.
Like, I am very very much aware if something I'm playing, like, doesn't have good tone, like, I will know, and I very much value that. And in my with my late undergraduate professor, yeah, she was also quite tough on me, especially in the first 2 years because those were, like, really the years where I, like, was going through that, like, monumental growth, and she certainly helped me get to where I needed to be as well, which I very much appreciate. Tough love where it's like, "Hey, this doesn't sound good," but when I was improving on things, she's like, "You're making so much progress. I'm really proud of you."
Yeah, and if it's you don't sound good on this, it needs to be followed by some advice.
Yeah. Yep. Oh,
Otherwise,
yeah, exactly.
you're
There's gotta
just
be some instruction there.
you're gonna fry up your students' motivation.
Exactly.
But not our teachers here, but I have felt like in the past some teachers when they tell you how to fix something a certain way that worked for them,
Mhm.
or maybe it's a problem they didn't even struggle with, so they
Yeah.
don't really know how to teach it.
Mhm.
And then when you come back a second time and still have the same problem, they start to get frustrated at you.
Right,
Have you
yeah.
seen that?
I have seen that before. I've seen that with, like not with the professors that I've studied with it throughout my education, but in professors, like, I've seen, like, over at summer programs, for instance, where it's, like especially even, like, in a rapid sense where, like, there's a summer program where I went to and, like, we would have multiple lessons in a week, and, there's only so much work you can do in the span of a few days. Obviously, you can apply things, but at the end of the day, so much is only gonna grow in a couple days, and also, obviously, different teaching styles work for different people, and I had some teaching styles that worked great for me, and I was able to grasp those things and improve upon them quickly, but there were a couple instances where I was working with somebody, and I tried everything in order to be able to like improve upon what they wanted me to improve upon in the ways that they were telling me to, but it either just didn't make sense or didn't work for me. But then they, of course, got frustrated because it wasn't their way. So like that I find like is a little tricky when working with some people. Obviously, it's a case by case basis and it depends on who you're working with, but that I found to be pretty tricky at times for sure.
And they should get frustrated at themselves when, because really, assuming that the student is trying their
Yeah.
best and is a pretty good musician or has, the raw
Mhm.
materials there, they should be frustrated that they're not trying something different as a teacher.
Right.
Yeah. I assume you want to teach someday. We kind of all teach.
Yeah.
Do you think, have you taught before?
I haven't properly taught lessons in a like structured format before. I've helped out with my old high school's band several times. I've helped with their like instrument fair and getting kids like that are just about to go into 6th grade to like try the flute, see if they're interested, see if they like it, and help them make a sound on it. And I've also helped out with honor band coachings for the middle school there and the high school marching band and like helping them with like sectionals on their marching band music and such. But I haven't taught proper lessons yet. I think because I've been a little bit too scared to, but now I'm more at a place where I'm like, okay, like it's fine. But I've in the past few years, especially during undergrad, I was like, I'm scared I'm gonna explain something to somebody wrong and mess up their fundamentals, you know?
Oh, okay. I thought it was more fear of going blank, not knowing what to. I would feel more like that. Do you think you can kind of mix and match the things you like from different teachers in your
Mhm.
life? The one thing with you is you're so nice
Thank you.
that I'm worried that your students are going to come in and not practice, and you're not gonna
Right,
not gonna
yeah.
hit them with the hammer when they need it.
Yeah. Well, I'm evil now, so no.
You're evil now. Please explain.
I am
Olivia's in her evil era
I'm in my evil era, which means just me standing up for myself
for basic things.
for pretty basic things.
Yeah, it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be evil. I'm gonna, not sub for this person when they text me last minute and then go to a concert
Yeah.
instead." Unnamed person.
Bless his heart.
Okay, public service announcement. If you go to a concert and then you get your friends to sub for you, you need to not tell your roommate because their
Yeah.
roommate can't keep a secret.
The he folded under zero pressure.
He we've narrowed it
Th-
down to half the
this
population.
this certain individual folded under zero pressure to tell somebody the truth of the scenario,
Yeah,
which I find kind of funny. Not
true.
gonna lie.
Very true. Another thing about you is it's kind of funny. We'll be walking
Hmm.
and I'll be like, Olivia, should we go left or right? And she gets like a full on panic
Yep.
response.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And both
That's
ways go to the same ending point.
Yep. That's an accurate statement.
But I'm not saying this to throw shade at
No, no, it's funny. It's all good.
because you care a lot about
Yeah.
everything.
Right, exactly. I value things very deeply and I like never want to make even stupid decisions. Obviously, that's something I am continuing to work on, but like even like haphazard decisions of like what am I going to eat for lunch today? Like I take everything I do in my life very seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I think on one hand you're right because every little decision could have an impact, like the
Hmm.
butterfly effect.
Yeah.
But also, it's probably a lot to feel
Yeah.
like every little thing matters a
Yep.
lot.
It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah. Has this gotten better for you? Is it
Hmm.
something you're thinking about?
It's been something like I've worked on it in therapy before, as I'm an anxious
We're in
girly, as
therapy
we
right
know.
now.
This is true. Oh my god. Wait, I don't have my insurance with me.
Uh-oh. You're screwed. I
Shoot.
have a hammer. I'm
Dang
afraid to use
it.
it.
Aw, man. Yeah, that's like I haven't been to therapy in a little while, but it's been something I've worked on in therapy when I've been in the past, but it's obviously like it's something I'm continuing to work on because I don't want it to let it determine that much of my life, but obviously good to care a lot about things, but double-edged sword, it's possible to care too much about things and then let it consume you.
Yeah. And then for decisions in music, and
Mm.
by the way, I don't think this is like a problem for you. I
No,
see
yeah.
you making
No,
lots
no,
of
you're
decisions.
good. Yeah.
But for decisions in music, I feel like there's just decisions all the time. It's like,
Yep.
when do I take this audition?
Yep.
Do I stay in school for
Hmm.
longer? Do I keep taking this risk of investing in myself, thinking I'm going to win a job someday, or it's going to turn out okay? I'm going to pay the bills.
Hmm.
Do you kind of feel your way through decisions? Is it more logical? What do you think?
Hmm. I think, well, previously I feel like I had more of that stuff, like the future of what's next after this planned out. Now, like, I have less of a sturdy plan about it, but I don't, like, I part of my brain, like, just the way it's wired, it runs on having certainty. Like, anything that's uncertain, like, it gets a little anxious. But I feel like, of course, as I've grown and changed throughout the year, I'm better at handling that. I'm like, yeah, the future is open, but how exciting is that? That I could, like, previously I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a DMA. I'm gonna just like, or I'm gonna try to win a job somewhere and then get a DMA within the area or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know if the DMA is in the cards for me anymore. I think I do still want to take auditions, and like I do have experience with like social media work, and I could do an arts admin stuff to pay the bills, or like work in admissions for like schools or something like that, while supporting myself and like maybe another person, stuff like that.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, DMA is another performance degree after your master's degree,
Mm-hmm.
and it's usually good for university level teaching. They
Yep.
usually want you to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So you said your plan is less certain now,
Yeah.
but just your energy and everything, it seems like you're in a really good place.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't necessarily have the certainty of like I know exactly what's next, but I feel good. Like, I feel like I'll be able to figure that out, whether that is if I end up winning a job in the next year, or I end up doing admin work, or it's something else entirely. Like, the world, I feel like now I'm like at a point where I was like, I could tell other people the world is your oyster, but I didn't necessarily feel that for myself. But now, after like everything this year, I like there's a world of possibilities, and that's exciting.
I feel like that's a such a valuable thing.
Hmm.
You can't buy that.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder what about this year did that for you. I mean,
I wonder.
you have the audition that you won, that you finaled in.
Yeah.
So that's like
Right.
tangible piece of evidence for
Hmm.
you. You have a bit of advertising background from
Yeah.
your minor in undergrad,
Mhm.
and you had a social media era as well.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just because of how hard this year was, and then seeing that you can get through it,
Right, yeah.
and
Lots
also
of big life
and
changes,
also
yeah.
the feeling that if suddenly you lose your direction, like you're out of school
Mhm.
and you don't have anything lined up,
Yeah.
it's not like you have to figure it out the next day.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
little bit of time.
Right. 'Cause I feel like especially this year, I mean, obviously, like, and even in, like, my personal life circumstances, as you knew, I was like, I have to have my future set out now. And you don't have to have your entire life determined for you, like, for myself right now, age 23. And that's a really freeing thing. Like, things aren't set in stone for you before you turn 30. Like, you even like after you turn 30, like that's not necessarily like a hard set deadline. Like, there's so much possibility to life, and like now that I've gone through this year, I'm like, yeah, there's so much that could be done, and it honestly feels good to not like have a set thing in place that I had before.
Wow. I wonder if it's just what happens to your brain when you get older.
I wonder.
But you're younger than me, and I'm
This
still
is true.
freaking out. So,
Well, just by a month, just by
just
a
by a
month.
month. Yeah. So, what's next for you? What are you working on right now?
Hmm. Well, I'm going to a couple summer programs over the summer, so I'm just starting to like polish up on the rep for that. I'm gonna look ahead, like auditions coming up in the fall. I mean, one big one
Yeah.
in our area, so that'll be cool. Yeah, brushing up on that. Just I think I would some point too when I do get home, because I'm also gonna go up to NFA in Portland, and I'm gonna like really take a moment to like properly audit everything I did at each audition, and like these were the things that worked for the best for me. These are the things that didn't work for me. This is how I react to this scenario. This is how I react to playing in a bar. It's like so that way I
You
like
should play in all the bars
maybe
in
I
your
should.
hometown
Maybe I should, because
and put out a tip jar.
I might, you know what?
You might make a dollar.
I might make at least $1.
She has a little bit of an obsession with the dollar.
I do like giving people
She
dollars.
keeps asking people for stuff, says, I'll give you a dollar.
No. Like, hey, if you open this jar, I'll give you.
But I have never been given $1.
Well, I apologize.
Are you going to give me a dollar for this podcast?
If I had dollars, I would.
I think I'm supposed to give you a dollar.
Well,
Guest.
it's all right. I appreciate it very much, but I cannot accept your dollar.
Okay.
But yeah, summer programs, brushing up on like more orchestral stuff, auditions, also giving myself a proper break eventually because I don't feel like I really gave myself much of a break between winter quarter and spring quarter. And
Yeah, that was
yeah,
crazy back to
it's
back. Can we talk about just you don't think about the logistics side,
yep,
or at least it's not the main thing you think about, but getting on a plane,
yeah,
figuring out
hmm,
how to get subs for whatever ensembles you're in at
right,
school,
yeah,
and then maybe you have a lesson the next day,
right,
and you're like, "Can I spend the whole lesson just talking?"
yeah.
And
Oh my
often you
gosh,
can.
yeah, this is true. I had two and a half talking lessons
I call
this
them
quarter.
therapy lessons.
And they were great therapy lessons,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, taking 2 auditions within the span of 10 days of each other and then 3 auditions in the span of a month
With different
was
lists,
all
obviously.
wildly different lists. The only 2 excerpts that overlapped across all 3 was Mendelssohn Scherzo and Debussy Faun.
It's the only ones we need to practice.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was, for lack of a better word, it was hell.
Yep.
It was very valuable, and I do not regret doing it, but it was a bit hellish.
Do you think you burned yourself out?
I think I did burn myself out a little bit by the time I was getting towards this last one, because I think in previous auditions, when I've been like doing the prep work for it and my practicing, I'm a bit more diligent with what I do. But this one, I was essentially just doing all the excerpts every day and just like doing all the same stuff over and over, which also kind of led to my wrist issues in addition to the Shostakovich. And the Shostakovich also took up a lot of my brain power because it's a very long and technically demanding piece.
Oh, it's crazy.
It was like so cool and such a good piece, and I'm so endlessly grateful that I got to play it. It was just a lot to juggle all at once, but I mean, at the end of the day, of course, I did it to myself. It was my choice to take as many auditions as I did, but
Yeah.
very valuable. But I did feel myself kind of starting to burn out towards the end there.
Yeah, I fully makes sense to me. I would be burned out. I took 4 this year, but
Mhm.
some of them were kind of back to back. I feel
Mhm.
like my preparation could have been a lot better.
Mhm.
I know many flute players have a whole theory about how to prepare to
Mhm.
make sure you hit all the excerpts exactly evenly, but just with school and maybe I
It's
could have
so hard
managed
with
things
school,
better.
for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I want a more logical progression and plan for all of that.
Mhm.
But my question is, maybe balance is a myth, being balanced. So it's like
Possibly.
nobody's balanced all the time,
Right.
but there's periods of your life that are out of balance.
Mhm.
But then when you zoom out, because you have like your period where you're taking a break, and then your
Mhm.
period that's really crazy, and in the moment it's really not very even,
Yeah.
then overall it turns out all right.
Mhm.
So this is just kind of part of it,
Yeah.
but also don't hurt yourself.
No, right, 100%. And of course, it's unrealistic to be 100% balanced all the time in your life. Because, I mean, naturally, there are just going to be sometimes, like, things in your life that are going to need to take more time. Like, for instance, this past weekend, I barely practiced at all because I had to take care of a final exam.
Was it
And
for musicology?
yeah, it was for
Is
musicology.
that hard?
It wasn't terribly difficult. It was just time consuming. And if we got it in by today, we got 5 points extra credit. So I kind of wanted to get it done. And that way, too, I had more time to like prep for our little event tomorrow evening.
She's hosting again.
Yes, I
There's gonna
am.
be brownie pudding. But you
And
have to tell us
oh, yeah.
the best things that you cook and bake.
Hmm. Well, I would like to ask you then. What
Oh,
are like your,
me?
yeah, what are
I don't know.
what's the favorite thing also that I've made and the favorite thing that you like to make when you cook?
Okay.
Double it
I
harder.
think that the pumpkin cinnamon donuts that you made
Mhm.
were very good.
Thank you.
Maybe my favorite dessert.
Thank you very much.
Favorite. Oh, whatever you made at Flute'sgiving.
Mhm.
We had a yeah, we had
Oh,
a
yeah, I made a lot.
Flute'sgiving, and she's got like catering giant trays of food. I what did I try? I think it was the mashed potatoes, but
Oh,
there
yeah.
was some did you put drugs in them?
I did
Something.
not put drugs in them.
Okay.
I could the next time if you want.
Next time. Now, unless a potato was a drug, whatever you did to it.
Well, I'm glad they turned out well.
Yeah. No, I'm very impressed by your
Thank
cooking.
you.
My cooking, I had a cooking area in COVID
Mhm.
because we all kind of
Yeah, of
did.
course.
Now I sort of cook whatever's easy and
Real.
I sort of eat the same things every day.
Very
It's very
valid.
interesting. But I make pretty good pizza dough.
Ooh.
Surprisingly easy to make.
Oh, yeah.
And then desserts. Mm, anything in bar form.
Oh, yeah.
S'mores, cookie bars.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah, but I can't have them in the house. I'll just eat them all.
That's so real. No, those are delicious. Ooh, I love a good like s'mores bar type thing. It's been a while since I made them last, but I made cheesecake bars pretty frequently.
Okay.
And
Is that difficult? You gotta get
it's not
just right.
super difficult. It's more difficult to make like a proper cheesecake because you got to do the water bath, but you don't have to do that with cheesecake bars, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just got to lay down the graham cracker crust, and like when I would do it, like I usually would do it in the fall season, I'd like do a swirled regular cheesecake and pumpkin cheesecake.
That sounds very good.
Yeah, I haven't made that in a while. It's been a second.
Also, maybe part of this relief from anxiety thing you have
Mhm.
is you could do so many other things.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You said your other plan, if you didn't do music, was cooking.
Yep.
I can see it.
Yeah. Like if I wake up one day and I'm like, you know what, I don't know if I want to do this full time anymore, I could pivot and go to culinary school
Yeah.
or be a bartender or do
Yeah, I
something
can
like
see
that.
that too. Just don't make your own drink.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've learned my lessons.
Sometimes things happen.
I've learned my lesson. Sometimes I accidentally overpour myself and I'm a bad read, but it's
It's for the
okay.
best of us.
I've learned my lesson.
Yeah. Do you think you would feel like the sunk cost fallacy? Like, I've spent all these years in
Mhm.
school for music, so I kind of have to make it work.
In a way, probably, I'm sure, especially at first. But I think if I were to like pivot and have that be my main thing, I think I would still try to nourish that part of me by like still trying to like sub or freelance and such like that, or like play in church or something. So have that and like maybe teach lessons as well, but have like my main source of income be something else. Or I've thought about like my career possibly being like, yeah, I could do admin work, but still like have an orchestra job depending on what the schedule, of course, for the orchestra is like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, if I were to win something crazy, then like we're
We're
taking
done.
we're taking that and running with it.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of musicians have to stitch a bunch of things together.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there was some weird thing that happened where you felt really done with music, it's probably just a result of that burnout feeling.
Yeah.
And when you take the pressure off of it,
Mhm.
because we've all taken a risk at taking something that we love and then making it into a job.
Yeah.
And with lots of things that can ruin it for you.
Mhm.
Probably if you took that pressure off, you would still want, of course, you'd still want music to be in your life. in some
Yeah.
way. Like you said, for your soul, like to nourish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited to see what happens in the coming year.
Yeah,
I
thank
hope
you.
you win something.
Thank you.
But either way, we're gonna keep having
Yeah.
life lessons.
Yes, we are. That's going to be an exciting year for us, and I can't wait to see how
Yes.
you grow as well over the next year. It's going to be fun. We're
Yeah.
going to have a great
We're gonna survive.
second year of the master's degree.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
All right. Olivia, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching The Practice Room. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, contact me on Instagram or my website if you would like to be a guest or would like to suggest a guest. Links in the description. Thank you.